Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of season 2 of EGFH in Overwatch. Today we're live with games from our Connecticut region. We're starting these games between the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons and the Lyman Memorial Bulldogs. I want to thank our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and of course Mob Crush for making this season possible. Now to get into the game, my name is Cavan Navadignan and today I'm joined by VK. How are you doing, VK?
Very nicely, thank you. Hello. So the map selection will be just like in the Overwatch League. First we'll have a hybrid map, then assault, then control, escort, and if needed, tiebreaker on a control map. And today we will be seeing Hollywood, Horizon, Oasis, Dorado, and if needed, Elias.
Yeah, no, that seems like a good map selection. And of course, as we're just talking about the schools, we have the Falcons over on the blue side, and of course the Bulldogs over on the red. And what do you expect to see here, VK, with Hollywood? Of course, I don't know if you're familiar with prior season, how these formed, but what comps do you expect to see?
Likely goats. 3 tanks, 3 supports, because as of right now, the meta is 3-3 and it's extremely strong. It's hard to counter that. Although, if it's going to be a very aggressive first point on Hollywood, we're going to see a Far Mercy from the attacking team, and possibly a Widowmaker from the defending team to counter that. But they'll need to read this pick, and they'll need to pick Widowmaker fast, because if they don't, they'll just lose the first point.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And if we look over a couple of the players, of course, on the Falcons here, we have Glacier, Steve, CK, Schnark, Azuem, Anti-Mail, and Fruity Memes. And I'm unsure on everybody's rank, but I know for a fact that Stevik there, playing on the Reinhardt, recently hit top 75 in this competitive season. So the Bulldogs have at least one very impressive competitor to play against.
Well, let's see how he handles. Looks like we do have a Widowmaker pick, which is very nice. They're trying to expect that Far Mercy pick, and they actually don't really succeed in it, because we see a Reinhardt, a Wrecking Ball, which is a very unusual pick. It's not exactly the most popular hero right now. A Reaper, Soldier 76, Anna, and Chase the Moon hasn't decided yet, but it's going to be a support, and if you ask me, it's going to be Mercy.
Try not to get yourselves killed.
What do you think?
No, I think a Mercy pick would run that out. We could see Lucio just trying to get in aggressively there, with of course the Hammond giving that extra little bit of speed buff, lets him get into those positions much faster where he can just move people around and give his team as much space as they want. So yeah, but you were right on the Mercy call, so that's why you're the analyst.
Yeah, would be weird to expect a Lucio without a full dive comp. We'd see a Winston, a D.Va. Reaper might be okay for a dive, but Soldier, well, okay, I guess. Getting closer to the game.
Yeah, it's one of those. But of course, we're just going to see the start of the game. Nobody pushing out too far. We do see Stevik peeking a little bit, but he backs up very quickly, not finding anyone immediately for that fire strike. And again, it's just going to be on these choke points, and I think this game is going to come down to either Zuem finding a nice pick on Crazy there, but I feel like it's going to come down to Anti-Mail finding a couple picks on the support, or Drogon, of course, on the Bulldogs, getting behind and dealing with that shield as he can.
I like how he utilizes Brigitte as a mobile shield, because that lets him peek and try and kill someone without exposing himself too much and without needing the Reinhardt to come up to him.
Yeah, and Snark and Zoom, they're finding two quick picks on the Drum. The charge coming out, and it's counter-charged by Titanium Wolf there, but he's completely outnumbered, and Chase is just going to sit in that back, trying to survive, not letting them charge any more of their ult. And again, at the moment, it's looking like the Falcons are starting off quite strong.
Well, we see a triple support peak now from the Bulldogs, and the sneak play from Velocity. Not successful though, but this could be very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting attempt there going into that situation and getting knocked up into the air there. Titanium Wolf's going to be sent flying. Snark managing to shield most of that damage and charging up his Zarya, so they're going to push forward. Zoem managing to find the Brigette and Reinhardt there, so they're just going to be able to keep this push going with no more shields on the side of the Bulldogs. They're going to look to try and retreat as best they can without losing anybody else. And a Bastion switch from Drogon, probably to get through Stevic's shield.
Most likely, Stivik and Glacier shields. Now, what's interesting, Bulldogs don't have one ultimate ready yet. They've got pretty close on Ana, but she has no one to nano boost. Bastion switches to a Brigitte. And that's against almost 4 ultimates on Falcon's side. This is gonna be a very hard attack for Bulldogs. They need to bait those ultimates somehow.
Yeah, and Email looking to try and find an early pick here before this initiation and just give his team that little bit of extra, like, you know, little bit of extra
hiding. Stivik hiding.
Yeah,
wow.
The hammer down, coming down, and it does actually find Titanium Wolf, so he's going to charge her out, and that's going to be the Zarya dealt with. And while Stevik was doing that, Snark took in no time there to chase down Chase, making sure he was dead that high charge. And again, Zoem finding 2 more picks, completely shutting them down.
Sneakiest play ever. That was nice. And still, only 1 ultimate used to win the fight. They still have 4. They still have that deadly Riptire from Zoem, paired with Black Hole of Zarya, the Graviton Surge. This could be devastating.
Yeah, no, and like...
Single ultimate from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, no, like you were saying, they only used 1 of that fight, so they do have 6 or 5 more ults left over, and Stevik's already halfway to getting another Earth Shatter. And even crazier switching over to Widow there to try and deal with Anti-Mail, but he finds that pick, wins that trade. Zoem once again finding Drogon, and they're just not being able to find any gaps in the armor on the Falcons.
Doesn't seem like much effort from the Falcons so far. They just kill and kill and kill, and doesn't look like Bulldogs can do much.
Well, no, and they're making great use of Anti-Mail's infrastrike there, making sure that nobody's rotating around trying to sneak around like we saw at the start of that with Velocity. We were on Wrecking Ball trying to get around to the point. We see the Brigette ult coming out just to buff his team up just a little bit, making sure that, you know, even if they take a bit more damage or a bit tankier, the Earth Shatter coming out and we hit the Nano along with that Graviton, so they're just going to find absolutely everybody there. Glacier actually managing to get most of the kills in that fight, and that's going to be the first round going to Bulldog, or the Falcons even.
Well, they blew all the ultimates on that fight, but doesn't really matter much, because with 20 seconds on the clock, Bulldogs will not be re-engaging.
No, they will not. And again, we saw some fantastic play there from Stevik, from Glacier. They constantly kind of shifted their shield, who was attacking, who was shielding. And now we get to see the Bulldogs try and defend against this. And I'm always for going to overtime, going more rounds. So I'd like to see them hold it. With that Symmetra pick, what do you think?
This could potentially be very interesting. It looks like an ace in the hole for them. Something they've been practicing, but something Falcons might not be prepared against. And seeing that Tracer, it might be very dangerous for the Falcons. Although with only 33% of the point needed for the Falcons to take map 1, one lost fight would mean the end of the map for Bulldogs, which is kind of unnerving. Velocity is still not sure on what he's going to pick. And
this is my kind of city.
I'm a little bit confused about Falcons' pick. I mean, Torbjorn, Symmetra. Okay.
I mean, maybe
I'll just let that slide.
Yeah, I mean, we got Bastion. Okay, there we go. I think they were teasing us just a little bit there at that start of that round. Of course, you see them all switching over to what they're actually playing now in it. They're running a triple DPS comp here.
That's Symmetra stairs. That's what's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe hoping for that teleporting onto the point, just getting everybody on behind, presumably the Reinhardt that they're going to have. Of course, we know that they don't have a Reinhardt, but that might be their thought process. Get onto that high ground as quickly as they can.
Well, they did take the high ground. It's a classic dive pick here. Well, except for the Ana, usually
Yeah,
played
both teams
by
kind of grouping up, waiting for this fight to break out. Stevic jumping in, looking for his pick as they all jump onto Crazier there. Crazier's going to fall to Stevic, of course. We see the hook coming out onto Stevic. He manages to get away there. Velocity being pinked. He's going to die there, not being able to find any healing for the rest of his team. Anti-Mail actually manages to find 2 more picks onto this fight, and at the moment it looks like they control. Chase loses his mech, and again, it's just a clean fight for the Falcons, and the Bulldogs are going to lose the first map.
Victory.
Well, that was fast.
That was very fast.
I am unsure on what happened there, but it looks like Bulldogs were lacking some kind of a focus, because
Yeah, like
all the time they were trying to kill different characters and never succeeded in killing anyone.
No,
They
well,
didn't
I
have-
mean, they had a couple picks, but I think it just came down to, even if they found 1 or 2 picks, just everybody else on the side of the Falcons just came in and cleared it up.
Justice done is its own reward.
Well, still, one entry frag for Bulldogs might have changed the entire fight, because Stivek jumping in first, giving a 3-second window to get killed and to maybe turn the tide of the fight. Could go either way, actually. So the next map is going to be Horizon Lunar Colony, recently reworked. Still an Assault 2 control point map. And I'm pretty curious to see as to what strategies the teams will employ on the map.
Yeah, I mean, Lunar Horizon, of course, it had its remake semi-recently now. It's been a little while since it all got changed, but I feel like it's a lot more open, and there's a lot more options for teams to take and compositions to play. Goats works on it fairly well, especially on that first point, and then you tend to see teams switching over to more mobile comp, some flankers, maybe Genji, Tracer, and especially from what we saw the Falcons attacking with on their round, we'll probably see something along those lines.
Honestly, I see Falcons here using the same defense strategy as they did the last time. Maybe switching Reinhardt for Orisa, but probably staying Reinhardt.
Maybe they keep the Rhine just for the Earth Shatters, because I believe the Bulldogs were only running a Rhine as well. So if they manage to find a pick on that, then again, Stevic managed to find some fantastic Earth Shatters there that literally just won them the fight.
Of course, but there's not much room for some sneaky plays with the Reinhardt. And Orisa could do really well with that little Graviton Surge she has on cooldown every 10 seconds. With that much open space, could be devastating. Now about the attack, this could be much more interesting to watch. Maybe a Widowmaker to get some initial picks. Maybe a Junkrat. Maybe a classic dive.
Yeah,
what
no,
we
we can
see
I mean,
here is it's an interesting composition. Looks like Bulldogs are May. May on Horizon Lunar Colony. That's an interesting decision.
Well, they obviously have some time as well to prep. So we saw last game as well, the Bulldogs were kind of teasing us, and so were the Falcons on what comps they were playing. So we might see it all change within the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, probably. But still, a triple DPS composition from Bulldogs here. May, Hanzo, and a Bastion. And at this point, I'm not sure who will be the Bastion's cover, who will be pocketing him. No, Hanzo switches to Ana. Still, not much cover for Bastion. 600 point shield that doesn't even cover the whole Bastion's hitbox. Well, we can disregard that. D.Va might not be enough to save the Bastion, because obviously he'll have a big target painted over him. He'll be the main focus of Falcons. And as soon as the Bastion comes down, it's a point lost for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And a ghost composition from Falcons.
Yeah, so that's what we said at the start of the match. We'd probably see them running goats on this first point, and then maybe transition to a more flankery sort of composition and going for that more rush divey comp. And of course now, with the Bastion from Kura being there, he's going to be looking to deal with that shield as quickly as he can. But they thought about it. They saw the Bastion pick last time, and they brought Snark on the D.Va to try and eat it. Oh, Zoom trying to find a Titanium Wolf there, and the charge coming in. Kurifido's not even going to have a chance to move out of the way whilst he's in that turret form. And Nano Grenade coming out, Nano Grenade. A grenade coming out there, managing to stop some anti-healing. But again, the Falcons just come in, and the Bulldogs don't know how to react.
Hey.
Well, the start was okay. I liked that wall from May very much. It separated the entire team, but unfortunately Bulldogs were not able to capitalize on it. Bastion was hidden away and couldn't frag, couldn't kill anyone from that position.
The lovely wall, like you were just saying about Velocity there, managing to get some good walls, slowing that push down. Very much so, as they aren't going to stop. They're going to try and rush down this Bastion again and just keep on going what they were doing with last comp. They managed to find Kura there, Anti-Mail finding that pick. So again, they're starting to collapse on them a little bit here, but Anti-Mail's managing to get some charge, and with another anti-grenade coming down, it doesn't actually look at him too many. We hear Brigette's ult coming out from Zoom here, and they're all just going to group up onto the point, getting all of that extra armor. Chase getting nanoed, but again, just being stunned and immediately killed. There's no point. There's, you know, the nano gets absolutely no use. The Graviton coming out, and it looks like they're going to capture the point with still about 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Might even be 20 seconds. There you go.
Impressive. And again, a nice fight start from Bulldogs, because that biotic grenade from Ana landing and hitting 4 or 5 people, leaving them without any heals at all, and they're again unable to capitalize on it. They're unable to focus a single hero, and then they just give away the entry frag and collapse. Falcons look like they are playing this by their rules, by their playbook, because all the fights I see are either duels or 2v1s, and always in an unfavorable situation for Bulldogs players. Falcons just separate the team and kill them one by one.
It's not looking too good, but again, I don't believe the Bulldogs have played a match this season, or at least not on the stream. And I'm unsure if the Falcons have a new production to tell me whether or not they have, but we do notice a lot, especially on the earlier weeks of a lot of these competitions. Sometimes they play a bit more jittery. They're not 100% comfortable knowing that people are watching, so it could be nerves getting to them, or it could just be that the Falcons are so far ahead in coordination or general mechanics that, you know, it needs to push the Bulldogs to practice more.
I like the individual skill of Bulldogs. They know what to do, they know how to play their heroes, but it feels like there's some lack of coordination there.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
I think right now what they need to be doing is, with Stevik obviously being on that tank for the first time here, he's not on Reinhardt. Well, he was on Winston last time, but as a main tank here, he's not on Reinhardt. So they don't have to worry about him being sneaky or charge and Earth Shadow. They can play a bit more aggressively with all of them on the point, of course. And they're going to need to try and find something here. Maybe a comp, they could change it up, get a Pharah maybe. Of course, you see them running like Reaper and Sombra at the moment, and I don't know if that's going to be able to get behind and do enough splash damage or just general damage to the shields that Stevik's just going to land.
Well, still, Sombra is a very interesting pick that could be very effective, but it requires a lot of team coordination here.
Exactly, and like we were saying at the start of this round, it seems like the Bulldogs are having some communication issues, some comp issues in general. And like you see Kura here and Crazy are just pushing up, trying to find some of that ult. But if they get picked now, they're completely staggered out from the rest of the team and they're missing a support.
And another issue I see here is Bulldogs just keep swapping heroes all the time. They don't have the time to build those ultimates, and they just try and play this on their basic abilities, and they do not succeed. While Falcons build up their ultimates.
Yeah, no, like you were saying, that ult economy is so important with, of course, them switching constantly. They're not getting the ults, and then the Falcons are just having all of their ults ready for when they push in with new characters.
Some nice shooting from Anti-Mail, getting 3 headshots in a row.
Yeah, no, and Anti-Mail's going off as well. He's given all of the room that he could ever wish for with that Orisa shield. He's got his Infrasight on, so he knows exactly where Kura's going to come out. Of course, getting halted there by Stevik, and it's just easy picking right now. They need to, they're pushing out one by one, staggering themselves. They're not able to group up as a comp, and they're dying one by one.
Where does it hurt?
Velocity, they're trying to jump in, but he does actually hit the Venom Mine, so he's going to get revealed to Widowmaker. The rest of the team dealing up with him, whilst Anti-Mail just pays attention to that chokehold, not letting anybody pass. Him and Glacier are just the sniper duo right now.
Very unlucky for him. Still, they've got the Nano Boost on Crazier. They've almost have self-destruct for Chase the Moon. It could possibly work if they can land the self-destruct well.
Yeah, but again, that's the 3rd time now Velocity's just jumped in with none of his team and died. They need to play it like back. They need to slowly build up ults. They should know by this point that the Falcons have all of their ults because they haven't seen them once other than all of the ults being popped now. They are actually nano boosting Mercy here, and we're going to see Fruity Means jumping in. He's going to be able to find a couple picks or at least push them out a little bit for Anti-Mail to find Titanium Wolf and Kura. And Fruity's not going to be scared. He's just going to Valkyrie him with that nano boost and deal as much damage as he can.
Nerf this.
That's one most unusual... Oh god. Got eaten by a shield. One most unusual Valkyrie I've seen, like, ever. Creating so much space with that nano boost.
Yeah, and that was a huge EMP coming out for Velocity, but at the moment they're so staggered that they have nothing to follow it up on. If he had waited a little while longer, waited for his DPS to get back, they might have been able to just monetize on that, but right now... Anti-Mail's just going to push forward, find Crazier right there. And even with this Riptire, even if it finds 2 or 3 people... you know what? That was the wrong team's Riptire. But, yeah. But, of course, Zoom there finding Velocity once again, so there's not even anybody to sneak up behind the point and get this into overtime.
So it looks like Bulldogs are not communicating with each other, because that mech from Chase the Moon was perfect. It landed right on the balcony, and if not for the shield, it would have been a triple kill, at least.
Yeah, but
and
if
that's where Sombra EMP should come in, but it didn't.
But yeah, exactly. And that's the hypothetical there, right? If they were communicating and like they said, okay, I've got bomb, they're all sitting up there, Velocity, just go sneak up behind them, tell me when you're gonna EMP, I'll throw the bomb, they'll think they're safe, you EMP, we blow them all up, and we take the point, right?
I mean, even without communicating, just press tab, see how the ultimates are doing, and after Chase the Moon launches the mech explosion, launches the self-destruct, Sombra just comes in and EMPs, and it didn't happen. There's a certain lack of team chemistry, I believe. I mean, I don't see how else they could whack a combination this perfect.
No, they need to step up whatever issues they're having right now with communication, because it's clear that they are just running in one by one. Maybe they've completely given up after seeing that first map get lost so quickly, but they need to kind of just chill, take a breath, reconvene, get themselves in that right mental space, and go at it.
Another possible solution for Bulldogs would be a complete switch in playstyle. Just pick all the heroes that are used to brawl, maybe a 4-tank combination even. And instead of doing one by one, just choose one target and kill it at any cost, any means necessary. And after that, try and capitalize on it. Maybe that would work for them.
Yeah.
Because that attack and that defense, they're not bad. They know how to play. They know the tactics, but it just doesn't click. And Falcons see this, and Falcons capitalize on it. They just see this. They see them. They misplace. And they play around them. Okay, so the third map would be Control. And today's Control third map is Oasis. Now, Oasis University is one of the most interesting maps for me to watch, because it can employ a lot of different strategies. From dive to quad tank, just like I said, to maybe goats, to even double snipers.
Yeah. I mean, double snipers could work here. We saw Anti-Mail going off completely, but we actually see him on the D.Va this time, so they're switching it up once again. Kind of maybe keeping them guessing, trying to keep up their different play styles, letting different people play different things. But of course, we see Stebek on the Reinhardt again.
Now, what really catches my eye is Schnark on Symmetra. That's a little bit of I don't know. Maybe it's an overconfident pick, because Symmetra without any setup, without time to set up the turrets, would not work that well. They realize it, they switch to Symmetra for this area. They go goats.
Yeah,
Who would
I
have
mean,
figured?
Going goats, and actually just letting them get onto the point there, staying down in the hidden bit, just trying to get them to rush, and we see that sonar arrow coming out, trying to look for them, and I imagine they're quite confused.
They are. They must hear the footsteps. No, Stevek sneaks behind, opens it up, and it's basically a slaughter here.
Yeah, again, they just didn't know where they were coming from. They all just hid down into the point, waited for them to try and capture the point, and as soon as they started, they all rushed up behind them and cleared it up as quickly as they could. And Chase now being stuck out by himself, he's just gonna slow walk as they all chase after him, not even shooting him. And he does fall there, so he's not going to be able to get into his mech, charging up the rocks just that little bit more on the economy. Again, Velocity sticking on that Sombra. It didn't really work out for him, but I think he's going to try and get behind, hack some of the health points, or he's just completely given up. But Stebek managing to find two picks there, and it's just one of those things. If they are having this much communication issue,
Quintuple DPS pick from Bulldogs.
Yeah, so at this point, it looks like the Bulldogs have said, we can't win, let's just give up. And that's a shame, and I hope to see in the coming weeks when they play again, you know, that mentality changes a little bit, because the only way you improve is by not giving up, right?
Well, yeah, they actually have a shot to win this. They just need to calm down, maybe get a sip of beer or something, inhale, exhale, and say, let's just play it like a usual competitive game.
Yeah. Yeah, just have some water. Yeah, just have a drink of water, calm down, and then get yourself in that right mental space.
Armoring you up. Behind you.
And now we're getting back in. We see the Bulldogs trying to group back up. Now it looks like they're trying to get their stuff together, maybe even a little bit here. Stebek's just going to be shielding his team. And if you look at the positioning on the side of the Falcons right now, they're constantly jumping behind Stebek wherever Stebek's shield is going. The hammer down coming out. He manages to find Drogon. Kurofudo actually, I believe, got knocked off the point there, or even jumped off to try and stop their ults. Crazy being found and Drogon being found. So it's all down to Chase again by himself. Oh no, Titanium jumping in, the bomb coming out. He does fall, and Stebek's just going to toss his shield up there. That D.Va bomb being used.
Even said hello at that bomb. I mean, that's confidence right there.
Yeah.
And I'm at a loss of words here actually, because The Bulldogs, they do have the mechanical skill here to maybe win this. Not win this, but at least put up a fight. And I'm not sure why don't they want to put up a fight.
Come on.
I heard
I'm
you.
number one.
Five,
Now, Bulldogs could just,
2.
like I said, run one of the focus compositions that focuses on taking down one hero specifically and then trying to capitalize on a numerical advantage.
Yeah.
Or they could just go for Mercy. Because the
Yeah,
best
that-
counter to goats, and we see goats all the time from Falcons, is a Far Mercy. It's
Yeah,
one of
I
the basic team compositions, one of the basics, one of the essentials maybe.
Yeah, and of course we just see that intro fight happening once again. The Falcons managing to clear it up pretty much entirely. Now running Far Mercy instead of their patent pending double or the patent pending Widow that they've been using for the last couple rounds. And again, Chase is going to be left to his own. He's going to look to try and escape, and he's just gonna run away, try and get that environmental death, which he does, which stops a little bit of their ultimate gain, but he did do most of his mech's health. So on the side of the economy here, again, the Falcons are just going to be way ahead.
Crazier just goes and makes 2 entry frags. Now they could easily capitalize on it, but a Bastion? Come on, guys. They're just basically giving away the game right now.
It's one of those things, and again, as we were just saying. But Anti-Male finding Kurifo and Titanium Wolf there on his Doomfist. He's not afraid to push up quickly here. As Crazy, it doesn't even get a chance with how he just power slides in there, doing a bit of the Char-Char slide. A Meteor Strike going to come in. Drogon's going to have nowhere to move, but he's already dead by the point that it hits, hitting Chase instead, and he's going to look for that kill. He's not afraid to chase after him. Titanium's going to go for it, and he counter-charges into that, getting booped into the environmental there from Glacier, and they're just clearing this up as quickly as they can.
Anti-Male and Glacier are going to have a serious talk about this game, about kill stealing. Because he wanted that Bastion right at the center of it. But still, I very much like team composition from Bulldogs on Horizon attack, because that Sombra could possibly be very much devastating for Falcons if utilized correctly.
Yeah, and again, we see Velocity just standing up there, spraying around, not seeming to try and help his team as much as he can. But we have Devik there ulting into that primal range, Fruity popping the Valkyrie, and we see a bomb coming out, and if nobody can dodge it in time, they're going to be able to get out in time, but Devik's going to be able to find 2 picks there. Fruity is actually going to try and 1v1 Reinhardt, but he has Devik jumping on him there at the last second just to save that flying Valkyrie. And that's going to be the 3rd map going towards the Falcons. And of course, because we're doing the Overwatch League system, we will be playing a 4th map.
Which is going to be a control map, Dorado. Nope, that's an escort map, excuse me. I'm just getting so confused by this game right here. I'm genuinely unsure why the Bulldogs are not trying to pick something simple, something like Goat's composition. Something so meta, there's nothing to counter that. I am not sure why they aren't playing Far Mercy, not sure why they aren't playing Torbjorn even, because with that Symmetra on Hollywood, they could pair it up with a Torbjorn, and they could possibly make it work.
Yeah?
They've got some interesting ideas about their team compositions, with that Sombra, with that Mei, but they just give up after one try. They try, they fail, and they decide not to play the strategy even further. But maybe that's what they need here. Maybe they just need to fall back, regroup, and try the same strategy again. Just with some little correctives, some some small brushes, but not change the hero composition completely like Bulldogs do. And Falcons, well, Falcons found their vibe, found their play. They're just chilling out there. So,
Yeah.
any thoughts
And
about Dorado?
I think Dorado here, I feel like within this, it just needs to be able to do what they do. And again, they just need to get into that mindset, go off, and manage. They need to get into that mentality, right? They've gotten themselves into a bit of a slump right now. They can just get themselves through that, even if they take 1 point, right? You got to feel better than at the moment they've been getting white to white. So if they manage to get that 1 point or push it to a certain point, I'd feel better about myself, right? Because it gets you that little bit of confidence that when you're so demoralized, if you find one little bit, it matters so much more.
Well, at this point of time, the game is already lost. They need to chill out and have some fun. Or maybe try and learn something from this. Maybe try and employ something so unusual they haven't played it in public before. And just try and test out some strategy. I'm not talking about 5 DPS here, of course. So strategy, that's just gibberish. But I believe there's something they can't figure out. There's something they have to test. There's something they've got to employ.
Yeah, but again, and like we were saying, on the ultimate side of things, when you were saying they were constantly changing heroes and things, they could just play it slow, build up as many ults as they could, and then go at it, right? If you throw 6 ults at any team, you're usually going to find a wipe if they're positioned or you position your ults well enough. So I think I wholeheartedly believe that the Bulldogs here, if they just take it back, think about that, and then go in as a team, that they'll find something. There is no doubt in my mind in that. But right now, they need to get into that mind space, right? And on the side of the Falcons have been doing really well. Their coordination has shown. If we look back to Hollywood, when Stevic used his Earth Shatter and they had 4 other ults, nobody else used the ults because Stevic got 5 people and they just cleared it up with their basic attacks.
Yeah, because there's nothing to ult at. That's good coordination. That's ult economy right there.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And
So,
Bulldogs, well, a Death Bowl is as good as always. It always works. Just get some Zarya, get a Pharah, an Ana, and try and Death Bowl this.
Yeah. And again, we see Velocity on Wrecking Ball there, trying to get up behind him. He does manage to hit a 5-man knock up there where he's going to be able to get some room, but he dies fairly quickly. But what he does do there is alleviate some of the pressure for the Bulldogs to push up their point, forcing them to now stay around this choke. Drogon getting a nice little stun there, but it's getting shielded. A charge coming out from Titanium Wolf, and he's going to be able to find Snark, so that's a good little pick coming out from the start there. Griffino dropping his heal there, trying to keep his team up as the rest of his team regroup.
Let us move it.
And look at that Junkrat, could possibly do devastating damage there. But still, getting some pressure on himself, relieving his team from pressure, and pushing that payload further.
Yeah. And again, Crazier there finding a pick on Glacier, and Velocity finding a pick on Fruity Meme. So these are the things, right? There's these little picks that are going to give them some more room. They're pushing it further each little time. Now they just need to not do what they've done. They need to regroup back up and take it as together, because right now it's Velocity and Drogon off by themselves. They're going to get picked off. They're going to stagger their timers even more. As Titanium arrives, Drogon just died. So now they've got to wait for Drogon to walk back. And it's these little things that constantly add up.
Damn.
Still, Anti-Mail goes down to Velocity here, and Velocity is in the back line, not going for heals, surprisingly. Anti-Mail uses the Infrasight.
Yeah. Now, the Infra site, of course, they know exactly where they are. So, what do you do in this situation, right? A Widow's Infra site is 15 seconds. So you look at the clock, you say, give them the 15 seconds, then begin the pressure. Or you run in with a bunch of ultimates, like we were saying, manage to find a couple people there. The charge is going to come in, the Nano Boost is coming out on Stevic, and it doesn't block it in time. Dragon's coming out, and this might be another team wipe for Falcons. But Chase is up on that high ground and hasn't quite realized that Anti-Mail's waiting for him to peek his head around.
But still, that's 2 ultimates exchanged for 3, maybe even 4 if we count the Widowmaker's Infra side.
Yeah, no,
And they need to realize that, they need to capitalize on that, because they've got their own Infra side, they've almost got the Riptire, they've got the Tactical Visor, they can roll in, they can kill everybody if they do. If they do roll in, if they do use their ultimates.
They do have the ults, right? You pop the Infra site, you get a pick, you pop the Infra site, you pay attention to who's walking back from where, you play around those angles, you spot them, and you do the best you can. Titanium charging in there is not going to be able to find anybody, and Velocity's not going to be able to grapple enough to knock somebody about, but actually, as I said that, he is going to be able to find it. We hear the Visor coming out of Kura there. He's up onto that high ground, looking for whatever he can get. Snarky jumps down, and Snark's a little bit charged, so he does just enough damage to out-damage the healing from that, from the heal. My brain completely stopped.
They're not even trying to combine those ultimates. Chase the Moon in a perfect position for that Riptire, and Titanium Wolf creating so much space with his charge. The Riptire could kill 3 or 4 people there. Because Falcons looked confused there for a moment. They've let Titanium Wolf roll in, survive, put up a shield, and even swing a hammer once.
Yeah, and of course
that's enough time for Riptire.
This is the first chance that they've had, right? Stevic's dead. So they can push it on to this point. They've got 15 seconds left on the clock, so Stevic has to walk the whole way back. They still have their main tank. It's a 3v5, but it's or 3v4 even, but it's the best situation there right now. We hear a Riptire coming out from Chase, and if he can find anybody with that Earth Shadow coming out, it's going to be helpful. He actually manages to find 2, Fruity and Zoom both falling, Anti-Mail getting chased. But if they can deal with anybody else, Anti-Mail finding Drogon as well, and a reverse Earth Shadow coming out there, and Crazy's going to be the last one with the overtime on the clock. Even with those bombs coming out from Velocity, he's going to have a hard time, playing that ground. Looks like this first part is they got it 64 meters. It's holdable, like it is defendable. It's going to be difficult for them, but they won more fights in that round than I think they have every other game
combined. I mean, they've got kills. They can kill people. They can roll in. They can create space. They can build ultimates. They can use ultimates.
Yes.
But now I see what they're lacking. They're not setting up their fights.
No, they're not thinking. They're not talking to each other. Do you have this? Because I can use this. Or if I flank here, will this cause a distraction? Or like take enough pressure off you guys to get a nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're not trying to set it up. They're not trying to position themselves before an engage.
No.
And it looks like the tanks of Bulldogs just see the opportunity and roll in without their team being there to back them up.
No, and that's the issue right now. The tanks spot something, they'll charge in. The Sombra from a few games ago saw all of them to ult, and they ult.
I'm looking forward to working.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's not that they've given up, or it's not that they are playing badly mechanically as individual players. They just need to tighten up their communication. Maybe they did get into a negative mindset, or maybe we're completely wrong. You know, we can't hear their communications, but it's what we get from.
Well, yeah, it's how it feels. It's how it seems.
Yeah, exactly.
It's how it looks like from here. Maybe they're just, you know, impatient. Maybe they need to get a grip, calm down, and be a little more patient with their ultimates.
You are the embodiment of chaos.
And the comps, it's interesting that they're keeping on this Hammond, because it seems to get maybe one pick, do a little bit of disruption, but then die immediately. Velocity there, just maybe trying to go for some recon, trying to find out where everybody is, who they're playing, spot that Lucio, spot that they have got Doomfist on Anti-Mail instead of a Widowmaker. And again, cause some disruption. A lovely little piece of tech there from Anti-Mail, actually sliding over the rooftop there to sneak up behind them all and actually clear out 4 of them from that high ground. It's going to be left to Titanium Wolf to try and finish this up, but he goes down as well. So chasing the, Schnark in the background, also finishing up Velocity. So I believe that was a team
Well,
kill.
that's game.
That's game.
Is approaching its destination.
But still, again, a great engage from Velocity. He sees only 2 people on the payload. He possibly should call that. Where's everyone else? Where are they attacking? Guys, be very careful there. But he doesn't, and then Anti-Mail rolls in, kills 3.
Look at this piece of tech here, using his rocket punch there to just get the extra momentum he needed to just slide it off, finishing it up with the uppercut and then slamming her behind them all.
Well, I don't know what else here to say.
Wonderful.
But yeah, that's the end of the series. Of course, the Falcons, they're taking it 4-0 fairly quickly, and it was, again, when we saw the Bulldogs kind of getting it together, maybe their communication was improving, or they were just going, all right guys, we need to change something. It worked out for them, and it worked, and they pushed the payload. They won fights. So of course, that's the things that they need to think about, maybe work on next time that they play. And I'm sure every week that we see them play, they'll improve and they will have worked on this, hopefully. And yeah, it'll be good. But is there anything you guys want to say about those games, VK?
Well, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see the Bulldogs progress and learn throughout the season.
Yeah.
And Falcons here look like the possible champions of the season here.
Well, they look like the ones to be. I definitely would agree with how their play was and how their ult economy
Yeah,
was.
that's textbook Overwatch here.
Yeah.
They're just playing it perfectly.
They were playing it extremely well. So I don't think it was an easy match for the Bulldogs in any regard. But they should feel happy about themselves pushing the payload even that tiny bit when they won fights, because they were playing so well on the side of the Falcons. But of course, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and just enjoying those matches, to be honest. Of course, with the winners here being the Falcons taking the victory, you can follow us at OfficiallyGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements. This season wouldn't, of course, been possible without the support from our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and Mob Crush. My name has been Cavan Navik Dignan, and you can find me at Navik or at Cavan Dignan on Twitter, CavanDignan, and Vic.
And that was Vladimir, the VK, and you can find me at Twitter handle TH3VK. That's Tango Hotel 3 Victor Kilo. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be happy to see you next week.
Yep, later.